Now Allison McKibban from History, Classics and Archaeology, whose PhD is entitled On the Era of Violence, Confronting Colonialism in the US Violence Against Women Act, 1994 to Present. Her 3-minute talk is entitled E is for Ending the Violence. And just a content warning, Allison's presentation will discuss sexual violence and racialized violence, but no specific graphic content of violent acts.
A is for all you will face as a Native girl. B, because as a Native girl, you are more than 3 times as likely to be raped. This is What to Do When You're Raped, an ABC handbook for Native girls, published by the Native American Women's Resource Association in 33 indigenous languages. It's a practical guide preparing Native girls for a sobering reality. More than 85% of indigenous women in the United States experience sexual violence. And they're not alone. Sexual violence is a global health crisis, but it's not for lack of legislation. Laws that run the gambit from criminalizing people who have committed crimes to criminalizing the victims are pervasive across hundreds of governments throughout history. And yet, when we reflect on the historical analysis of those, none of them have worked. My thesis comes to the question, why not? I approach a new way of thinking through rape laws, specifically the Violence Against Women Act, or VAWA, a monumental US piece of legislation that regulates rape inside the borders of the United States, specifically violence against indigenous women. In this, I refrain from asking how many prosecutors or how many perpetrators have been prosecuted under VAWA, and instead shift my focus to the underlying causes, the logics and ingrained ideas that are written in the words beneath the text themselves. This approach builds on the idea of taking colonial histories, the testimony of indigenous women, and the more than 2,000 pages of VAWA legislation from the past 30 years to come to the conclusion that the US government situates indigenous women as the problem themselves in a piece of legislation that is supposed to protect them. Ultimately, these interventions from the government are not solutions to sexual violence. They are recreating the violence they claim to solve. For example, VAWA acknowledges that indigenous women face disproportionate levels of rape from non-Native men. Yet, the same piece of legislation bans tribal courts from following through on prosecuting these offenders. This legislation is recreating a cycle that we don't acknowledge because we refuse to go beyond evaluative policy analysis to look at the discourse created. I never had to read a children's book about rape, and I shouldn't have to, because we have an opportunity to create rape-free worlds.